This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hi everyone. Good morning, all. Welcome to Sri's Technologies. Hey, am I audible? Hi, welcome. Hi, good morning, all.
Hello.
Welcome to Career IT. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, just a moment. My button is not enabled. Okay, let me enable it. Okay, great. Okay, so before I start this one, right? Before I start, just a moment. Okay, so let's have a little bit of introduction. Okay, because I see folks joining, right? So let's give 2 minutes of time. Meanwhile, let's connect, let's other connect, right? So we'll have the introduction. Okay, just like what's your name, where are you working, uh, are you a fresher, are you trying to switch your technology, anything, right? Just 2 lines of introduction would be great, right? So that we can take the demo at that level, right? So what you guys expecting, I can see right from which backgrounds people are here. Anyone, right? Feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mala. I'm working as a developer and I would like to switch my career towards DevOps.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
hi,
Vinay.
I'm
I'm working.
Chandana.
Go for it.
No, Vinay, you can carry on. No, no.
Uh, Thanks, Shanna. Hi, I'm Vinay. I'm working as data migration engineer. I like to switch my career into DevOps.
Okay, great, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, hi, this is Chandana. I'm working as a SAP security consultant, so I'm looking with Azure Devops.
Okay, great, thank you. Anyone else
Yeah,
would like to go?
hi, I'm Sri. I'm basically from pharma background. For a few years, I worked in manual testing. Right now, I'm looking for change, and I think just want to know whether DevOps is the right option for me or not. Could you please suggest me
Okay,
on that?
sure. Definitely, definitely, I'll walk you through those.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone would like to go?
Hey, hi, my name is Bindu. I used to work as a developer. I got a break in my career. I just wanted to restart it. So I want to explore DevOps.
Okay, great. Anyone else would like to go?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for the introduction. So, coming to myself, okay, my name is Sagar. I am the trainer for this complete DevOps and Azure. I'll be training you end to end. Coming to my experience, I have total 12 years of experience in this industry, where I started my career around 2011. Hi, Sandhya. Yeah, hello, I'm Sandhya. You would like to speak, Sandhya? Anything? You can unmute yourself if you want. You want to speak, you can unmute, or you want to help us with the message. That
Hello.
is also fine.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Sandhya. I'm working as a cloud DevOps engineer. Currently, I
Hmm.
understand. I cannot hear anything.
Your voice is very, very low.
So,
Maybe you're sitting very far from your device.
maybe I need to change some settings. That's it. Nothing.
Okay, never mind. I heard like you worked as some engineer. Okay, fine. So maybe your network is slow or something, right? So never mind. It's fine. So I have total 12 years of experience. So where I started my career around 2011, I started with Wipro. Then I moved to TCS. Then I moved to Infosys, and finally I'm working with a company called Mastercard. Okay, so I work as a team lead there. I have few folks under me who work. So I work in the afternoon shifts. So my around it starts around like 11:30 somewhere I start my office. So in my free time in mornings I train individual batches. Sometimes we have some consultancy batches. Sometimes we have folks who are from US or UK who are completing their last year semester. Those folks join for us, and we also train some corporate companies, startup companies, whenever there is a training requirement. So that's all about myself. Coming to the demo part, right? Before we dwell into this agenda of today's agenda, which is your DevOps overview, cloud computing, Azure cloud engineering, and then the most important thing, it might be an experienced person, it might be a fresher, or it might be a person from a different industry. Doesn't matter. This matters a lot because here is where your career starts. You have to know that where are you going to get the jobs, where are you going to explore your careers, okay, and then how are you going to accelerate, or how do you start the journey. Fine. So before I dwell into this, let's have little bit of prerequisite where little bit of clarity will get. Okay, people who are from different backgrounds or people who are in same background. So prerequisite for DevOps with Azure. So time and patience, guys. Okay, why? Because some people might already worked in corporate, some people might be a fresher, some people might be a different stream completely. So time and patience when you're entering into the world of IT, okay, you should have time and patience. And that too, it is not just IT, you are entering the world of digital technologies. So DevOps is one of the digital technology, okay, which is compared with various digital technologies in the market. So time and patience, why I'm saying, because if you have time and patience, there is lot of fruitful result in the future. Okay, even now it is there. Why? Because DevOps is the most demanded technology in the market. Why is that? I'll come back to it. And before, why I'm saying time and patience, because you may start little bit slow, maybe your salary will be little bit slow initially when you start, when you start a career, but when you gain experience, when you gain experience, as time passes, we have seen candidates who have 3 years of experience or 1.5 years of experience have got 200, 300% hike, because there's a demand. Okay, there's a demand, lot of demand for this technology. Moving on, basics of Linux. Why this is required because the base for this DevOps in Azure is Linux, and we are teaching that from the scratch. It's not just a basic; we are teaching at the advanced level, because any JDUC, any job description you go and see, they are expecting the Linux administration knowledge or skills or expertise. Why? Because that's a base. They also know it's a base. If you know the basics, you can achieve any technology on top of that, because that's a base which is mandatory nowadays. That's the reason we have kept it at the advanced level, not at the basic level. We are teaching it from the scratch, which will go at least 1.5 week to 2 weeks. We spend time on that. It's not that 3 days you run the commands, you learn the commands. No, we are teaching you advanced concept, because if this is strong, you will play around with DevOps and Azure, and anyone is passionate can quick start their career. There's no hard prerequisite that you require this knowledge, that you are from different background, because we have students who have completed the MBBS, they came to DevOps. Someone completed the M Pharmacy, they came to DevOps. Someone completed civil engineering, some is from electrical background. Okay, some are from mechanical background. Okay, some are from diploma background, some are from BCom. Okay, those candidates have started, because there's no hard prerequisite. Everything you're starting from the scratch, you're learning from the scratch. Okay, and then programming knowledge is not mandatory. If someone is already a developer, it will add on for him. Okay, if you want to go with a fresh DevOps, you can go. Otherwise, developer with DevOps, you can move on. Then graduates, undergraduates, backend developers, web developers, any people can start this program. Guys, can you be on mute if you're not speaking? Moving on, DevOps with Azure Outline. This is how we start. Introduction to DevOps world. Okay, very first know what is DevOps, where DevOps fit, how it is used. Okay, what is the use of this DevOps? Because this is not just your understanding; it will also help in your managers round. Because when you sit in some companies, there are like managers round where you speak to a client or manager. In that situation, they will check your mindset, they'll check your maturity, they'll check your the way you speak, the way you understand. Because there are places where people don't want technical expertise, people want how people understand the technology. Okay, because they say we will teach you the technology, you just come with a mindset where you have a good exposure to this technology. Okay, even if you don't have a hands-on, we if you have that level of understanding where it fits, how it fits, that's important. Second is Linux administration. This is, we keep it mandatory because this is the base, guys. We have seen people coming from IIT, IIM who have certifications with them, but when we ask a basic Linux command, they don't have. How do you think that we will proceed with the IIM or IIT guy who has certification? Even we feel that certification is a fake, because when you don't know the basics, how did you learn the advance? Okay, that's more weird. It looks weird in your resume or when you sit for the interview. That's why the basics should be always strong. And then your DevOps or Azure, you can start with Azure, you can start with DevOps. There's no hard prerequisite, start with anyone. Okay, and then you can start the other one. And most important thing is interview guidance. Doesn't matter he's an experience, he's a fresher, he already worked in industry, because interview is always the main part of this course. Why? Because the goal is to crack the interview, the goal is to reach the destination with your job. Okay, that is what the goal is. So this is the most important thing, guys. Okay, it's not that you complete the course in next 2.5 months or 3 months, and then you go and prepare for next 3 months and then go interview. No, as soon as you complete your course, take a 1 week of gap and close, start your interviews. Okay, start off your interviews from there. That is what we are expecting from you. Then these are all your set of tools which are going to teach according to the market standards. Moving on, we have 6 projects. Projects are not done at the end. Project will be in between your tools. Okay, I'll be putting projects like after 5 tools of DevOps, your project starts. 6 tool will add continue, because project is not achieved in one day. It's a continuous process where you keep exploring it, keep putting it. That's why this is all to enhance your knowledge. How do you draw architecture diagram? How do you understand the flow? How in the company the flow goes on? Okay, how in the company they make the automations? All that things will be putting in the form of diagrammatic. We'll be writing the procedures of that, and then we'll be exploring those. Okay, so it is not at the end, it is in between. Your syllabus will be, as soon as shoe tools complete, we'll take a pause, we'll start this work so that your knowledge enhances, and then we'll proceed. This pause in a sense, it's just a 1 day or 2 days, not more than that. So because we keep continuing the learning, the process of this. Then moving on, you might have got the syllabus. Okay, moving on, you might have got the syllabus already. So this is how your syllabus looks: introduction to DevOps world, operating system knowledge. If you see, we have kept at advanced level. Okay, and then moving on, your DevOps tools will start from complete DevOps tools, your Jenkins, your Ansible automations, your Docker, Kubernetes, okay, your Terraform, your cloud technologies. Okay, and then your resume preparation, most important thing, right? So put concentration here as well, guys. It's not that prepare for the interview as the course go on. Don't wait until the last moment again you prepare for something. No, because interview is cracked only when you face it. When you face, you get to know what are the challenges, how much you have to improve, how much you have to add, what is lagging in your resume, what is lagging in your technology which you have learned. So all that things will come out when you start interview, giving the interviews. Okay, so I recommend when you complete your 50% of the syllabus, start cracking the interviews. Okay, then if anyone is from non-IT background, we'll groom them for biting. You don't require any documentation, nothing. It's all in your resume. How do you convert your resume from a non-technical to technical and move on? That is possible. We have also moved 10 plus year of experience guy who is completely a non-IT guy. He started working as technical with the same experience. Experience or your previous experience doesn't matter. It's all matters how you crack the interview, how do you speak in the interview, how do you present yourself. Then your additional things which we said, your running notes, diagrams, documentation, recorded videos, whatever we do it here, that is in the drive. You can download from there and you can use it. Okay, there's no restriction on that. We will share it to you completely, or along with the videos, running notes, documentation, whatever we have, so that you can, if someone is working, they don't have a time, they can use it in their free time. Fine, moving on. So this is how the architecture's diagram we implement. Okay, we implement this kind of a diagram which are working in their company, how they are used in the company, and then we decide how the deployment happens, how they do the deployment, right? It's same, we draw all the architectures. Okay, we first define what is the problem statement, how it works in the problem statement, then we design it. Okay, we make you understand diagrammatically how the flow works, how they implement. Okay, how it implements. Again, this is the entire diagram. In this, again, we divide this into pieces and bits and make you explain again with a separate diagram where you understand the complete feature of this, how it implemented, what is the procedure, and then you create a project out of this, implement a complete end-to-end project so that you get a complete end-to-end knowledge. Okay, so here whatever the time we spend, for example 1 hour of class, half an hour is your practical, half an hour is theory. Theory is very important, guys. Why? Because in the interview you should able to speak. If you're not able to speak, no one will give you a job. And certifications and everything is just a criteria to pass. It's main, you have to speak. Your communication skills matter. No one requires a high-fi English, it just requires a basic English where you help others to understand what you're speaking. That is most important thing. If you are able to achieve that, you can achieve. That's the reason we are putting effort from our side wherever we can put. Okay, wherever we can give you the entire notes, entire entire the syllabus notes, so that you can speak. Okay, you can speak and you can achieve that. If you see any notes, it's not only this, any notes, if you see, we write theoretical, we give the practical as well, because you have to speak. You have to speak what is that tool, why is that tool. Okay, each and every practical what we do is with the output I pasted here so that you can refer it, because there are some scenarios where experienced people don't have time out of the busy schedule. At least before 1 day of interview, you can at least refer these notes, go for interview. Instead of going with a blank mind, you can achieve with your at least some percent of knowledge, you take it with the interview. Okay, because interviews are surprises, they don't inform you 1 month before or 2 months before. It's like one day evening they call and they say that tomorrow, day after tomorrow, there's a call. Please attend the call. So you don't have time that much. So spend your time making your notes. Okay, writing anything. It's not only a project. It's any tool we give you that many notes. Why? Because it will help you in future as well. It is a long term goal. It is not that today you learn it and you'll remember. It's a human mind, right? So you may forget few things. That's why these notes are given so that you can implement this whenever you have time. Fine. Let's move on from here. So just I'll just take more 5 to 10 minutes. I'll open question and answers, and then we'll go for diagrammatic explanation how your works look. Okay, what is your work in the real time? How this complete flow of DevOps works? Okay, what is your goal in this? Okay, or what is your contribution in this DevOps, in the complete DevOps? What do you contribute for your company? Okay, so we'll speak in the real time where what do you do in your day-to-day life. Okay, what does a developers does, what a QA team does, how do you interact with these teams. So all these things we'll speak in some time. Just 10 minutes of introduction, then I'll open for question and answers, then we'll go for the technical diagram. Fine. So now, before I say what is DevOps, I say why DevOps. Okay, and one thing, we don't use PPTs anywhere. This PPT is only for your demo because the time is short. Okay, we can't help, time is short, so that's only the reason. But rest everything is a whiteboard. We teach you whiteboard on the we have, like, we use some diagrams, we use teach the whiteboard. We have your notepads where we type the notes, and we have a PDFs where already some good documentation, procedures, examples are there, so that you can explore more on that. Fine. So all those things will share it to you. So what are the diagrams also we draw, that is also given to you so that you can explore it. Fine. Now, moving on, why DevOps question arises. I'm not saying what is DevOps. I don't want what is DevOps. I want to understand why DevOps only. Reason is that previously also before DevOps there was a technology called build and release. Build and release technology was there before DevOps. Before DevOps step in the market, there was something called build and release. Okay, build and release. So take an example of a car showroom. Okay, take an example of your car manufacturing. So why? Because the DevOps came with this car manufacturing company. There's a company called Toyota Production System. If you know this company like Innova, Fortuner, okay, this is a very famous car which politician uses, right? So these cars company started this DevOps process in 1915. 1915 DevOps started. Okay, that started in very old. It was a very old, okay, very old technology where you have this technology where they started this process. Okay, so they wanted a process where your developer and your operation team, okay, developer is a person who is building this engine spare parts, all the spare parts of the car is building by the a developer. Okay, he is an engineer or a developer who is building all the spare parts. And this operation guy is what, this person will use this documentation, they'll share a documentation to this person how to speak, how to connect each spare part or how to integrate each spare part and build a car. That is what given to the operation people. So these people were building, this person was releasing it. So they gave all the spare parts, they gave the documentation, this person started reading documentation, integrated everything, and finally car started. They gave it to the customer. Now we don't know how the customer is going to drive. He may drive 100 kilometers, he may drive 1000 kilometers, he may drive in the rain, he may drive in some hilly stations, or he may drive rashly, however wish he will drive, we don't know. So now after going 100 kilometers the car has stopped. Let's assume a scenario. After driving 100 kilometers, car is stopped by a customer who paid lakhs of amount. Now he is coming back to a company saying that I paid lakhs of amount and my car is stopped. It's a new car after reaching 100 kilometers. Now whose mistake is this? Is it a customer mistake? It's a company mistake. It's a mistake between developer and operation. Why? Because if these two people have worked together, they might have tested it properly. Okay, they might have tested properly. Customer would never face a issue, because when you're building a spare part, when you're creating a car, you have to do a good level of testing. You have to do a testing, you have to see each and every aspect. Testing is not only done by QA people, testing is done by everyone. Because you can think as a normal customer and you drive a car and see how do you feel it, what is less, okay, what can be improved. Okay, all that things feedbacks you can gather between two teams. That never happened in the traditional system. So there is where people wanted to bring these two people together. That means operation person will do his own work, developer will do his own work, but they wanted to achieve this complete product with a proper quality. So there is where they brought a DevOps. So they don't want these two people to work individually. Whereas where they brought bringing DevOps practice, bringing all together. That means every person, your developer, operation, business, and end users, all these people they wanted to bring together. That is where, okay, that is where they brought the process of DevOps. So they brought a process of DevOps to overcome the challenge of those. They brought a process of DevOps where DevOps, they brought this keyword DevOps. DevOps keyword came from there only. Initially, they wanted this traditional development and these traditional operations. So they brought this keyword called DevOps, where they wanted these two teams to work together to build a quality product. So there is where DevOps is a practice, it's a process, it's a culture, or it's a philosophy where operation development work together, okay, participating in the entire life cycle. Okay, DevOps is a process and process or a practice of operation developer engineers participate together. That means they work together to build a quality product, right from design to the production system, right from design to the to right from design till it goes in the market. That is where your DevOps fit in it. And today DevOps is used by every product, not only a software product, not only building your websites. You take your TV, you take your mobile phone, you take your car manufacturing, you take your ACs, electricals, anything. Everywhere DevOps process is used. Now, to build this process, they wanted a life cycle. Simple, right? If you want to build a phone, what do you want? You want a process. First, you'll think what is the design of the phone, what should be the features inside a phone. Okay, what level of testing you should do, what level of development you should do. How do you start that phone, or how do you improve that phone? How do you get a feedback from the customer? Okay, how do you monitor that phone? All this is a life cycle. There is where this life cycle comes into picture. Okay, there is where your life cycle comes into picture. Continuous planning, how do you plan it, how do you build and code, how do you integrate it, how do you test it, how do you deploy. Deployment is nothing but starting the product or starting the process of the product. Feedback from the customer, improvement, how do you improve. If you see today, iPhone, if iPhone might have stopped it at iPhone 1 only, you might have got iPhone 15. No, right? iPhone 1 came, 2 came, 3 came, 4, so it went on, right, till 15 it came. It's same way. If you see olden TVs, you have a box level of TVs. Today you have what? Flat TVs, LED TVs, LCD TVs, right? You see your phones, how slim they are compared to your old Nokia phones. So that is where the improvement. See the olden cars, today's cars, lot of difference. Monitoring, everything is getting monitored. Your phone is getting monitored. Okay, your the website which you order a product is getting monitored. So everything is getting monitored. That's why you get the live updates, right? You get the updates in your phone, you get your updates in Android TVs, you get the updates. Okay, updates in any of the software you use it. So that is a monitoring level of monitoring people do it. Okay, so this is the life cycle which you're using. So in simple terms, this DevOps is a process or a practice where operation development work together using the life cycle right from design to the to it goes in the live in the market. That means any product you build it, it has to go in the market. Till that your DevOps process is there. So where is this DevOps used? Now question arises. We understood the definition, but where is this DevOps used in real time? Now simple, right? Early in the morning you wake up. What do you do first thing? You open your phone, you use your WhatsApp, you use your Instagram, you use your Facebook, you open your Twitter, you open your Snapchat, right? So how do you think that is 24 by 7 up? Have you ever imagined? Whenever you open your internet, your WhatsApp, your Instagram is opening 24 by 7 and never it is down, because your DevOps tool is sitting behind it. Your DevOps tools are sitting behind every website in your internet, that is making you use it 24 by 7. And where do you think you're scrolling your Instagram reels, right? The how much you scroll, that many are coming, new reels are coming. You open your YouTube, n number of videos. Okay, millions of videos are there. You open your Netflix, your Disney Hotstar Prime, open all these movie channels, entertainment channels, right? You see, right, how where is the data stored? Data is stored in the cloud. Why? Because DevOps is managing the websites, Azure is managing the cloud, the data behind it. That's why this is running. And do you think, right? It's just used by you, only the educated people, okay, the children from the 3 years, okay, mid-age teenagers, okay, there are like elders, senior citizens are also using your online website, because everyone is using digital today, everything is website. See your software, I'm not speaking about just a software company, industry, software industry, how many companies are there? Millions of companies are using your DevOps and Azure. Automobile, every car showroom has a website, every two-wheeler showroom has a website. To manage the website you require a DevOps engineer, to manage the data require a cloud. Insurance, you just hit best insurance in India, you get a lot of companies, okay, every company has an insurance. Financial text, your loans are online, your bank, your credit card, debit card is online, you touch your internet banking, is everything is online, everything requires a website. To manage this many industries website, I'm talking about industries, industries in term have n number of companies. Social media, what do you use? So many websites for social media. Healthcare services, every hospital has a website. Electrical, you buy everything electrical today, okay. Education is online, now also we connected online only, we dot go to the software which you're using, okay. E-commerce, Amazon, Mintra, your Flipkart, okay. Now multiple startups who are creating their own websites have their, okay, have their online digital, which requires your DevOps and Azure. Without DevOps and Azure, it is highly impossible to keep your website 24 by 7 up. DevOps will make sure your website are 24 by 7 up with the DevOps tools. That is where they brought technology. To manage the process of DevOps, they brought this technology of DevOps, which will help you in the real time. So research, just search by yourself, guys, because it is important to understand, are you fitting the right course? Are you using the, are you in a course where you are earning money? Are you satisfied with the job? Okay. Do you have a career growth? Okay. And explore it, explore everywhere. What is the future? Netflix is using, multiple companies are using, okay, it's not one company. Go and search the demand for that, demand for the DevOps, search it, okay. Explore yourself, instead of I saying that, go search for Azure, how many companies are using Azure, because Azure is now in the demand, Azure is coming in demand, because Azure, previously AWS was the market, now Azure is moving in the market, because Azure is giving a high discount, plus Azure is improving a lot, okay. Lot of companies are going, so check if you'll get lot of companies which are using it, okay. Biggest customers, the Microsoft is using it, okay. Azure, AWS, so compare it, okay. Compare, lot of companies are using it, which will help you to understand that, am I the right journey? Because journey is important, guys. Forget about technology, technology is secondary. First imagine that, am I putting my step in the right technology? If that is not the case, there's no use, right? So explore, because end of the day is what you want a job, so explore what is the salary for DevOps engineer, how much you're earning, explore everywhere, okay. Explore everywhere, search for the jobs for the DevOps engineer, okay. Search wherever you have a jobs, search and explore, because end of the day is, after you learn the course you have to implement this one. So that is what it's required, okay. So it's same, it's as simple as when you go for a college, you learn any college, MBA, your MCA, your BTech, anywhere you go, any stream you learn. So first thing, what do you see? You see which is the best course for me, what is my future, okay. What is my future, what is the best course for me? But do you know what is going, guys are going to teach in the syllabus, each and every step, you know? We don't know, we sit blindly for next 4 years, we learn it, we pass and come out, right? So same thing, you'll be learning it here, you'll be going with the flow, you learn, you have a capability of learning, okay. You will learn the technology, that is a secondary thing. Main thing is, am I in the right direction? Am I starting a journey where I'll reach my destination or not? That is important. How do you explore your courses when you join a college? Same thing, explore this one, explore everywhere, because it's mandatory, it is to understand the openings. Because what happens, I see people only search in software. How many people will get in, if you search in software? Electrical people are coming here, computers are coming here, okay, different stream are coming here. Explore everywhere, guys, this is the stream, this is your industry where you get the highest paying salaries, not in software. Financial techs, your Google Pay, Phone Pay, your Mastercard, your Visa, okay, of PayPal, okay, these are multiple companies which will pay you very very high, okay. Financial techs, even there are banks which pay, like ICICI, your Citibank, which pays 23 lakhs for a fresher. So imagine, directly if you work for Citibank, it pays 23 lakh for a fresher. So imagine how good companies are there. We just explore it here only. We only sit in the service based companies. Explore the every product based company. It's a challenging initially, but spend your 6 months of time there. After 6 months, you'll have a fruitful life from there. Okay. Once you sit in one product based company, you don't need to look back for any other company. Okay. You'll have that benefits in that companies. So search, because why I'm putting this one, this is important. Technically I'll tell you everything now, that don't worry, each and every tool I explain you, but problem is, understand this is where you have to explore your jobs, not only here. This is not one place, explore everywhere. When you apply in LinkedIn, Naukri, select all the fields wherever you feel you get this chance to. So search everywhere, explore the companies, that is most important. Fine. Now at least understood now where you're using your DevOps. DevOps is used in a real time. You are also using the DevOps tools. You're using the applications which are using your DevOps tools, but people are not aware of that. You're using the each and every cloud. Okay, whatever the data you're getting from your internet is all based on cloud. That's why it is reachable so easily. You're able to access your data from the clouds. And imagine, it is not used by you, it is used by entire population. Almost in this automobile, insurance, financial techs, all these are used by population. Your course or your technology is associated with the population, and is the population going to decrease? It is not going to decrease, it is going to increase. As the population increases, the number of jobs are increasing, because the weightage on the websites, the number of websites are growing. Every person who creates a startup, every person who wants to start a business, he has a website. Imagine how many websites are coming, we can't even count those. So that's why understand that this, it's not that when you learn a course, it's not just for 1 year 2 year you learn and then the course goes down, then you learn a new course and go for industry. No, pick up a course which is there for a longer time. At least if you are starting a career, it should be with you at least until you end a career. So DevOps is one which is started very long and still it is available, and there is no competition for DevOps anywhere. Cloud is fine. Cloud is, if you learn Azure today, same is AWS and GCP. There's no change. Only thing, the terminology changes, but the logic is same. The process is same. What you create here, whatever you do there, same thing is there, but different names. If you learn one cloud, other cloud, you learn it. Okay, easily you'll learn it. Okay, there's no hard thing. Okay, whatever you learn it here, same thing is there in AWS, same in GCP. Only these are the vendors who are selling the product. That's it, nothing else. Okay. So this year you learn Azure, next year you learn AWS and GCP. It's easy to learn. Fine. Now, last two slides, then we'll open question and answers. DevOps engineer is a IT professional who works with software developers, system engineers, system operators, other production staff. Why? Why is a IT professional? Previously, any operation was guy a support engineer, but now it is not a support job, guys. It has an importance. If you see this dev and ops, why there is a keyword called ops capital? We never write, any technology will not have this capital O anywhere. Like in between the word, you don't write it. Why? Because how much the developer has importance, more than that, this person has importance. Why? Because in simple terms, when you build a website, take an example of your Amazon.com. Take an example of your Amazon.com. When you build a website, there's a lot of demand for a developer. When he's writing the code, everything, he's building this, everything. Once the website is stable, hardly you see a change in Amazon. Do you see daily any changes? Hardly you see a change. But there is a demand for developer. Okay, but more than that, this operation guy is a demand. Why? Because this person is going to this maintain this website lifelong. He, until the website dies, this person is available. Once this website is stable, hardly developer will make a change. But DevOps engineer, whenever there's a minor change, whenever there's a rollback, when is an upgrade, whenever you want to increase the infrastructure, all these things are managed by the DevOps engineer. That's why until this website is alive, your job is alive, and this website is never going to go down. Amazon is never going to shut down their business. It is increasing day by day. Number of customers are there, number of people selling their product. Okay, Amazon is selling their own product, you can sell your products. Okay, you can buy the products, everything is there. So it's like, it's not one website I'm speaking, so many websites are there. Amazon is not in India, UK. Okay, multiple different locations it is there. So imagine that ops is one place where the demand is increasing, because the population is increasing. Your technology is associated with the population. As soon as the population increases, the demand for this technology increases, because you require that many engineers who can manage those websites, who has a knowledge of the tools. With the help of that tools, you can manage the website. That is where you require it. And then hard and soft skills. It is important, guys. Today communication skills is mandatory. Don't require a high-fi English, but when you speak, let others understand what you're speaking. And then automation. Okay, development team will manage the coding. We are responsible for your automation. Okay, automation, in a sense, all your manual tasks you should automate. So we are learning your shell scripting, we are learning your Ansible, we are learning your Jenkins scripting, we are learning your Terraform scripting, right? So all those automation will be covering here, which will help you. Then DevOps engineer is full time. 90% of the jobs are full time. Some companies has a policy of giving you a temporary job, right, where you don't have a permanent job. So in that situation, they will make you permanent after some time. They have a contracts. Based on that contract, they'll give you a temporary job, and then they'll make you full time. But that is a company's policy, you can't help. But 90% is a full time, because we are not getting a good engineers who have good knowledge. They are responsible for production and ongoing maintenance of the application platform. That means we are responsible for managing the websites with the DevOps tools. Should have a CI/CD skills. Okay, CI/CD skills with these tools: contest integration, contest deployment. All these tools are called CI/CD. Okay, then you will learn any of the course like Azure, AWS, and GCP. First, go with Azure. If you are interested, go with AWS and GCP. It is similar, no change in that. Then able to perform system troubleshooting. Behind every tool, I'll give you 10 steps where you troubleshoot that system. Okay, then your cloud operation, you'll be managing all the infrastructure, we'll be learning about it. Automation, we are however you're putting your automation in your Ansible, Jenkins scripts, Terraform. Okay, and then your soft skills, little bit of soft skills are required here, which will help us to communicate with the clients, with the teammates, with the different teams. That is the thing. Fine. Okay, let's take a pause now. At least 1% you guys is using your DevOps. Every industry is making use of your DevOps. Okay, understand that it is not in one place. Multiple industries are making use of. Wherever there is a website, wherever there is a product launch, wherever there is a software, DevOps is in place. DevOps is in place, used by multiple companies. Your network product, when you build a network product like 3G, 5G, so like your companies like Ericsson. Okay, so all these companies will build your 3G, 5G in different countries. Okay, so all these things are using your networks. Okay, so explore it, guys. Exploring is your stuff. Okay, I gave you the information. Explore it, because like it's same as like when you select a course for college, it's same as, because it's for the future. So select a better course which will give you more visibility, more salary. Okay, more openings. So explore everywhere. Okay, and then take a decision. Fine. So before I move to technical diagram, I'll take a pause here, and then we'll have question and answer. Then I'll move into the technical stuff. Any questions, guys? Anything open to any question and answers. Yes. Anything, any doubts, any questions, any queries? At least 1% you got where DevOps is used now. So exploration is required, guys. Before you select a course, forget about technical stuff. Technical stuff is secondary. First, see that am I in the right path? Am I moving to the right path or not? That is important. Okay, so it should not be like you start a journey somewhere, you stop it, and then you feel that I am in the wrong direction. No, that should not be the case.
Yeah, hi. I
Yes.
have one question. So, how that day-to-day job would be for DevOps? Like day-to-day job, what would be the role for them?
So day-to-day jobs are like based on the tools. What do you work in the tools? That is the same day-to-day life. Whatever you do in the tools, that is the same thing. Like, can we deploy the latest versions? Can we apply the patch? Can we fix the production server? Can we deploy the changes? So everything is based on DevOps tools. You're not going to do anything apart from that. You're not going to learn any programming. You're not going to implement any program. It's all based on tools. You are responsible for the tool. You're not responsible for the website indirectly. You're responsible for the tools. You should make sure that what are the tools you're learning, You make sure that are always up and running, always the tools are up and running. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is your cloud operations, like how do you create your machines, how do you create your load balances, how do you maintain the services of your Azure. So that is what your work. So your work is with these tools only. You work entire thing with these tools completely. Your concentration on the tools. Second is your cloud operations. So you'll get all small tasks. It is not a big task kind of things. It is all because when you go for a company, right, you don't start from the scratch. Already the company is established, the product is launched, and they started. If you get a chance for a new product which is starting from the scratch, then good and well, that is a good experience when you start from the scratch. But almost like 70-80%, wherever you already the company is running, right, they might have already implemented this. So you start learning. Here will be teaching you automation as well, so that the automation will help you. So your work is completely on the tools and your Azure cloud operations. What are the Azure cloud operations you do? That is the same thing. And one beauty is that what you learn here, same thing you implement there. That is the beauty of that. Whatever you learn it here, the same thing is there in the company, because these are standard tools. It is not like any other programming language or any other tool, like you learn here something, you apply the logic there something. It's not that. So whatever you see in the screen today, okay, how do you learn that? What are the tools you're going to implement here? The same tools will be in your company. There'll be no change. Even the every command you learn here, it is same in the company. So that's the beauty of your, where you get everything in the internet. Even if you get some error you find in the internet, a lot of people will post those errors. So though someone will be having that answer with you. So that is open, right? It's like open source tools. You have everything is open in the internet, where you can explore a lot of things. So that's why people are moving to it, because it is easy to learn, easy to debug, easy to troubleshoot, and it has a lot of open source in the internet, where you get a lot of content out of it.
Yeah, thank you. And I have another question. Like for DevOps, just in case for deployment, right? Sometimes they do deployment in the night time. So the DevOps has to work in the night time as well.
No, no. So see, mostly 90% of the companies have your regular shifts. That's why I told you that demand DevOps is in demand. How much a developer has importance, more than that a DevOps is importance, and it is a pure day shift. There's no night shifts. If you're like like nowadays how it is, because everything is a work from home culture. So everywhere, like one team is sitting in India, one team is sitting in UK, or one team is sitting in Brazil, one team is sitting in some other country. So they guys will have morning, we will have night. So opposite. So but 90% of the companies, only the startup companies who have shortage of employees or something, they do these rotational shifts. Otherwise, it is purely a day shift. There's no such kind of a deployments which will happen in the night until it is a support team. If you're working for a support team, then you have to work rotational shift. But we are not support guys anymore. I clearly told it's a IT professional job, which is a digital technology. So we're not sitting in a system troubleshooting. We are sitting in the tools. So all our work is based on day only. 90% on the day. Only some startup companies have this kind of policies. It depends again upon company to company, but 90% of the jobs are day. Any other questions, guys? Any other doubts? Any other questions? Any other doubts? Any queries? Anyone, feel free to ask. Any questions, any queries, feel free to ask. Okay, fine. If no questions, then let's move on to the technical part. Now let's understand how your work looks. What is your tool? Each and every tool I'll describe it here. How your work starts, how your work ends. Let's see. So take an example of a company called TCS, which is a service-based company, and there's a company called Mintra, which is an online shopping. Okay, online shopping website, or the company which sells your some clothes, cosmetics, and etc. things, right? So now, company TCS and this Mintra signs a contract saying that Mintra says I require a website and infrastructure maintenance. Maintenance. Okay. infrastructure maintenance. And so now website is the company is working online website. Infrastructure is nothing but your cloud. Okay, infrastructure maintenance is nothing but your cloud. So now very first we have to understand that who will go and gather these details. Now we are purely a engineers, developer also is a developer, QA team is also QA team. Then who is responsible for gathering the details? We don't speak to client regarding the business. So first understand that there are different teams in a company. So very first team is your product team, which is which does all these activities, who are the MBA professionals who speak to the customer, who get the details, who gather the information from you. So you have something called product managers. So these people are responsible for gathering all requirements. All your requirements, they'll gather it. So requirements like your features, your budget, your timelines, your development, what level of development, what level of security, okay, what level of infrastructure is required, etc. things they'll gather it. Okay, all the what level of testing they require, etc. things they'll look for it. Okay, so all these details they'll gather it. There are many more. Okay, so all these details is gathered. They are responsible for getting the business. They are responsible for getting the business, getting the information. Now, second most important thing, team comes here is development team. So development team is one which is responsible for your development. So there are developers and there are multiple developers, right? So we have like backend, your front end, even a database also is common under developers. Why? Because backend developers will write like a logic kind of a code. Okay, front end developers will do the designing, all the web designing and everything, and database people write the queries. Okay, all your queries, your PLSQL queries are written by them. So they are responsible for, okay, developing the website. So what are the website development? Okay, they will do this one. And then the third team comes here is your operational team. This is where you fit into. Okay, operational team, this is where your DevOps team fit into it. DevOps engineers fit here. Okay, this is where your DevOps team fit here. So we are responsible for managing the websites. Okay, managing websites via DevOps tools. You don't sit in front of websites and you watch it. It's all via your DevOps tools. DevOps tools are very smart enough to manage your websites, manage a product. Then you are responsible for all the responsible for managing all DevOps tools and cloud operations. All the cloud operations, what you do it, you are responsible for managing it. So this is your work, this is developers work, and this is the product team work. And the last team here is QA team, quality assurance team. So where you have, okay, where these people are responsible for functional testing, functional load and performance. So they do also the automations of the QA automations. They do all the manual and QA automations over here. So basically, these people are responsible for all this level of testing, because when you build a website, are the buttons working fine or not? Is the payment happening? what is the load on the website. For example, if 100 people log in, what will happen to your website? Is the performance in your browsers fine? Okay, which browser is supportable? All these things are managed by these people, so they will do the testing, and these teams are intent dependent. Now product team is the one which will gather the information, and we will give the information whether things will work or not. Now example, Mintra says I want this much infrastructure. Now DevOps will inform, is this infrastructure available with us, will we able to do it or not. Development will tell, is the feature will work or not, and QA team will tell, this all things are testing, we can do it on this. So all these things are dependent. Okay, all these things are dependent on each other to work. So these are the four teams minimum you'll have. Apart from that, there are companies which will have different teams. That is different thing. But these are the main four teams which are going to interact, which are going to work. Okay, which are going to work with them for building an entire website or a product or a software. Fine, and then you're moving into the world of DevOps. So there is something called DevOps with DevOps agile model. We'll be working in agile methodology or a model. So we'll speak about this waterfall model, agile model later. Okay. Now, very first, you'll be having when you join a company, you'll be having sprint planning meeting. This is how you start. So here, what happens? Here, all the work is assigned. Work is assigned in form of user stories via ticketing tool. Via ticketing tool, you have assigned the stories because every team will get the work from product team. Okay, here is what it is. So here you discuss the issues, your blockers. Okay, all this in your grooming session will happen here. So all the grooming sessions will happen here, right? And this occurs, okay, once in 2 weeks. Once in 2 weeks. Okay, so this occur once in 2 weeks. And here second thing, you have your daily scrum call because you're using your DevOps method. So you require your daily scrum call where you have a daily updates. You discuss your issues, your blockers within the team. This is within your team. This is within DevOps team. This is overall sprint. This happens once, and this is your daily, which you happens, right? Here you groom all the groomings and everything. You do it, right? All the discussions and everything, you do it here. Okay, all the discussions, suggestions, all these things will come here. So here there's no target kind of a work. You're not working in a company where you have to achieve a target. No, this is a work where you don't have a pressure. Why? Because for example, in 2 weeks they'll be assigning your tickets. Every 2 weeks you'll get some new tickets. If you don't do that tickets, even if you complete 25% of the work, that is a success. Even if you complete 25% of that is success, and that 75% moves to next sprint, next 2 weeks. But there's no criteria that you have to achieve 100%. Okay, because they are working on the quality, because their goal is not to complete the employees work. Their goal is to build this website. The goal is to build a website of the Mintra which should be working fine. So that is the reason they want a DevOps process where a developer and operations will work together. Okay, they have a timelines, but they don't have a strict timeline that you do it, because it matters is your quality matters here. Nowadays, quality matters a lot. That's why we follow a process where we build a quality within the team, and it's a teamwork. It's not that one person is getting a ticket, he has to work individually. No, it can discuss with the team, it can work with the team. It's purely a teamwork rather than their individual work. That's why it is here people are more comfortable than working in any other environment. That is where people are bringing, all the companies are bringing the DevOps process. First, they're bringing a culture of DevOps in your company, then they're bringing the DevOps technology in the process. So this is how it works. Fine. Now, tickets are assigned, work is assigned, development product team has assigned all the people their tickets. Now, who will start the work? So work will be started by developer, as I told, and because if the developer doesn't build a website, we can't start the work, right? So developer has to build a website. Developer has to build a website. So developer will start his work. Okay, developer will start his work. So developer has started his work. Okay, they have started their work. Fine. No. Now developer has written a code. Let them write the code in any language, whichever they are writing, because we are not worried about it. Let them write the code because we are not managing the code. Okay, that is managed by them. Now, developer has written the code, right? Now imagine that. Where do you store the code? Because code is important, guys. If you don't keep the code, you can't build the product. Code is important. It is not a developer's code, it is also a DevOps automation. It can be a QA automation. It any important file. Where do you store that important file which is getting proper tracking? So now Git and GitHub are the first tool. Git is a command line, GitHub is a graphical user. We're going to touch both. Okay, we're going to touch both here. But imagine that if there is no Git and GitHub here. Imagine that there is no such tool called Git and GitHub. How it was managed previously? When there was no tools, how people used to manage it? So now let's see that example. Let's take a traditional system where you don't have. Let's take a traditional system where you don't have your tools. Okay, DevOps tools were not there. How these people used to manage their websites? Now take an example of this file. You see type is Microsoft Word, author is Raj, size is 22 KB, date modified is some date. Okay. Now imagine that you are using this Windows or Linux machines as a traditional system and you're keeping all the files here. So now I see a file which is important file, and these are, for example, let's assume that on this file 10 developers are working. In a day 10 developers are changing some content in this file. Now can you see only the last person name is there? Okay, imagine that today 10 people has modified this file, only the last person name is I can see it. So now what about the rest 9 people? Where are their names stored? Now I'm saying 10 developers has modified this file. I can see only the last person name was modified. Then where is the 10 people? So there is no tracking. First problem is the names are not captured. Who is modifying? Okay, their names are not captured. Second thing, what did they modify inside the file? Did they add the content? Did they delete the content? Did they modify the content? What these developers have done it in this file? It can be a developer, it can be engineer, anyone. Now this is an important file. Now what did they modify? So we have two problems. One is we don't have the names. Second thing, what did they modify? What did they change? What did they add? We don't have content. Now this is the problem. So tracking becomes a problem when you use a Linux or Windows systems. Now put this same scenario in your real time. Imagine that tomorrow, okay, tomorrow there is, okay, or tomorrow, or take 1 week, okay, next 1 week there is some clearance sale happening in Amazon. There is a clearance sale happening in Amazon. Exactly on that day, 12 o'clock, you have to, there'll be a timer at 12 o'clock. They'll give some images saying at 12 o'clock, you'll be having your some clearance sale. Now, what happened? There were critical developers who modified the code and they left the company very next day. They modified something, they left the next day. But now you see there's a problem, right? Tracking is not happening. What changes they did, we don't have. Okay, both the things are not there. Now, how company will deliver that clearance sale? They made a change. Now, new developers came or other developers are there. They are not aware what these people change and things are not working. Now, the clearance sale will be on halt, fine, because tracking is not there. If any person is making a small change also, others should intimate. Okay, that's the reason the code becomes very important. It's not only a code, it's any DevOps automation, it's any QA files, it's any person, any important file related to product has to be tracked properly. Now put the same thing in terms of your mobile, right? For example, next they are going to release iPhone 16, but someone deleted this iPhone 15. Someone deleted this iPhone 15 and 15 plus code. They deleted entire code only because there's no tracking, right? Who deleted also you'll not able to get to know. They deleted entire iPhone 15 or iPhone 15 plus code. Now will the iPhone 16 release? iPhone 16 will not come so soon. Why? Because iPhone 16 is an improvement of iPhone 15. What are the drawbacks you have iPhone 15 or 15 plus? That improvement or the next level of features of iPhone 15 will come into 16, but someone deleted iPhone 15 and 15 plus code only. It will come in the market, but will take a longer time. Again, they have to build all the features of iPhone 15. Again, they have to put that with the 16. So that's where this your keeping your important files become very important. That's the reason we brought your Git and GitHub, which will provide you the tracking, proper tracking, who modified, when they modified, which person modified. Okay, all these details, the tracking becomes very important. And second most important thing is storage cost optimization. Cost is very important. Storage cost matters because nowadays everyone is using ssds. You buy any laptop, your laptop is very very fast. Why? Because you're using ssd, solid state drive disk, and that are very costly. And if people keep multiple datas here, okay, if you're keeping your multiple datas here, you're wasting your data. If you're keeping, like for example, this is 20 kb, 20 kb and same files, but I'm keeping duplicate copies. If I keep increasing this, imagine this file is some 10 GB, I keep two duplicate copies, how much size it will eat? 20 GB is getting wasted. So how do you achieve this mechanism to reduce the storage cost? So this Git has a mechanism to store this storage, to optimize the storage cost. Okay, when you start learning this Git, that time you'll get this idea because it has a separate concept to understand. So very first thing is storage. Second thing is your tracking. So these two are the important factors for your Git to use. And Git is a source code management tool. That means all the, we say it as Git is a source control system, or we say source code management. Okay, source code management or source code management, right? Source code management, a source control system where you keep all the code, all your important files are kept here. All the important files are kept here for tracking because it's important. Because if you delete the entire website, if you see if you take Amazon also, they will not build every time a new website from the scratch. Whatever it is existing code is that, on top of that existing code they'll modify and they'll build it. So that is how it is built. It is not, no one can build from the scratch again and again, because Amazon started very long, and if you want to build again from there, it will take years of time to build that again. Now developer has written a code, he has stored in the GitHub. Not only a developer, you will be also keeping your important files here, like your automation, your scripts, everything. Now code is written, everything is done here. Now what is the next step? Next step is building a software out of this code. Now building, if you want to launch a website like Mintra, you can't just take your files and start a Mintra. Simple, right? You want to use a software. For example, you want a music player. Okay, in your Windows you want a music player called VLC player. Okay, or some MX player or VLC player you want. So when you download the software, you get a bundle, right? .exe file or your .7-zip file where you extract and then you install it. Same where any software should be in the form of bundle. To achieve that bundle, you have a tool called, you have a tool called your Maven, which is a build tool. Now the code is written, right? Developer has to build it. Developer has to make sure he build his code, right? So now what happens? This Maven tool is a tool which will build the software, which will create a bundle out of it. So before we go to Maven, let's see the traditional system. How people is to work when there is no Maven. When there is no Maven, how people is to work. So for example, if it's a Java project, for example, developer will install a Java and he will use his Java C compiler. There is a command in this, and then he'll use your login.java, and he will do the compilation here. Okay, why this compilation is required? Because when you execute something, your hardware will process it. It is not, because anything is processed in your system, anything is processed by your hardware. So for the hardware to understand this, you require a ones and zeros. So this dot class will contains your ones and zeros, because the computer doesn't understand human language. It understands only your computer language, which is a binary language, right? So for that purpose, this Java C compilation will check the errors and will create the dot class file, which will contain all the binary language, will contain all the ones and zeros binary language. And then you go and execute your Java and your login. Okay, Java login or login.java, which will give your interpretation. Okay, interpretation, which is your output. which is your output, you'll get the exact output. This is what a developer does. Apart from this, for example, okay, a developer requires some built-in jars, okay, built-in built-in jar files you require from internet, okay. For example, for this login feature requires some security related jars. So imagine that you want to download some 100 jar files from internet. How much time it will take? How much time it will take for him to build this thing? Imagine. So first thing, the jar should be compatible. Jar should be compatible, okay, compatible, okay, with code, okay. So exact jar with compatible with code and exact version should be available. So now imagine that 100 files he has to download from internet. How much time it will take? It will take a longer time, and that file which is downloading is from open source. It may work, it may not work. Now imagine that whatever you brought, will it work or not? So it's a tedious task. This is just a simple file I'm saying. In complete website, how many pages are there in a website? Take any website, multiple pages are there. If he keeps writing this level of code and he keeps executing this code, okay, if he executing one file or multiple files will execute, it will take a longer time. To overcome this challenge, they said let the developer concentrate on the code, and this tool let handle by DevOps. There is where we are using your build and release. We are using both build and release. So now this tool will give you flexibility to build the code. So this has a flexibility which will do your build and execution both. Will do the build and execution of your of the code. The complete code will do the execution. Also, it has a feature to automate. Also, it has a feature to automate automatically download all the jars, all the dependencies. Okay, jars are called dependencies. The jars, okay, automatically download all the dependencies, okay, on dependencies, and then it will also generate the softwares. Your softwares are called package. We call it as packages, okay. Software also called package, or we use a word called artifacts. We got to call artifacts, which is nothing but a software which is in the form of, for example, Mintra war or a jar file. So mostly 90% we use wars only. Jars are used for your dependencies or some microservices, small applications they use it. But mostly we make use of your wars only. Okay, it is convenient to deploy. Okay, there's a lot of tools support that jar wars. Now, so all your work is automated, and this is it provides a user friendly commands. It provides a user friendly commands. Okay, so user friendly commands are there, which are like less commands, right? You don't need to do all that compile, test, package, everything. It has a lot of different commands, and it integrates with various tools. So all this we can do just 7 commands are there, 7 to 8 commands. Again, the commands increase based on the tools, but there are default 7 to 8 commands which will use it, and you can build this entire code. Doesn't matter you have thousands of files, 2000 files, thousands of jar you want to download. Everything can be done by this Maven. So that is where the Maven tool is used to build a software. So Maven tool is used to build a software using this entire thing. So now developer got a relief from all these things. Developer won't do it. We will simply pull the code from GitHub, trigger this Maven. Maven will take care. You just need to run few commands. That's it. Rest everything is done by Maven. And if any compilation errors to this, that is rectified by developer. It is responsible for developer. Fine. So now software is built somewhere. Mintra.war or Mintra you take if you want to write it something like Mintra.website. Website.org. Okay, some file you have to write. So software is built, code is written, fine. Now how do you launch the application? Because first you have to launch the application, not the website. Website will not come into picture because you have to do internal testing. Now, so there is a tool called Tomcat. There's a tool called Tomcat. Okay, most used tool Tomcat, which is a web/application server. Web/application server. Web/application server. This tool what is used to launch the application. Launch the application. Okay, just you have to deploy. Deployment is nothing but putting your software in some location and starting it. Okay, it's same as like starting it, like installing it only, like okay, fine. So just put it here. What it will give, it will give you a URL like http colon double slash some IP address of the machine colon some port number slash your application. What is the application name? Mintra dot. What are the website? What are the war file? The same application name will be there. So it is here. So now what will happen? Here code is written, software is built. Now once you launch this application, give it to QA team. This is given to the QA team for testing. Now we have different teams, right? QA team is dependent on you. QA team will take this and they will start this functional testing, load testing, everything on the application, respective application they started. So their work will be started. Meanwhile, now this developer who is there are chance that developer has downloaded 1,000 jars, and developer also might have used a code which is given in the internet. He might have not got a solution. He copied and pasted some solution from the internet. Now so much of code developers writing, right? So many files will be there, so many things in writing. Now who will tell that this code written is perfectly good? This code will not have a virus attack. In this code there's no duplication files are not there. Who will tell us? So that information will be given by a tool called SonarCube. So SonarCube will guide your developer in terms of your security, your vulnerability, your bugs. So SonarCube is the next tool which you're going to use. This is one of the important tool for your security. Okay, so now this tool is used for a code analysis and code quality checks. Code quality checks, this will check your duplication of code, how much duplication of code is written, okay, how many unnecessary files are there, etc. Things it will show you. And then it will tell you about your bugs and vulnerabilities, that means your errors and virus attacks. Vulnerabilities vulnerabilities, it will also say your, it will tell you the code smells. We use a word called code smell here. That means how much of your code is smelling, that means how much of your code is not good, how much of the code has to be improved. So now imagine that developer made a mistake. Okay, who will improve it? SonarCube is a tool which support multiple languages, and this will tell what to improve and how to improve. It will give you the, it will give developer set of rules how to implement. It will set you set of rules how to implement, etc. things. Okay, and also now Mintra sign a contract, right? Mintra will tell you that give me a bug free, give me a report which says your code is good. So it will generate reports like a bug free reports. Okay, it will give you the report that how many errors are there, how many issues are there, all that issues it will give you, and it will give you a report. This report is given to Mintra only, then Mintra will say go and deploy my website, otherwise don't launch my website at all. Okay, until you fix it. Because if your code is compromised, what will happen? Hacker will attack the code. Hacker will attack your website. Hacker is not interested in your website. Hacker is interested inside the code, getting the logs, getting the credit card details, debit card details, okay, information of the customer. That is what hacker, because he will get the data, he will sell it to some other company. Customer data, customer information. So there is where this SonarCube plays an important role in case you want, in case you want to make sure your application is a bug free or your application is safe. Fine. Now, do you think this website is built in one day, or this application is built in one day? It cannot be built in one day. Okay, why? Because it takes minimum a year 1 year or 6 months or some time to build it. In that situation, it's not one time they are building this war file, jar file, they're building multiple times. Now where they'll store all this war file, for the git we store the code inside it, it's fine. For this also, it is also important, because here there are a lot of effort in this file, there's a lot of effort. Developers effort is there. Okay, developers effort is there. Your QA team effort is there, they have done the testing. Devops effort is there. Everyone effort is stored here, and this is the main file which is required. So you require a tool to store this one, because this is very important. If you make a mistake here, okay, if you lose this file, then there's a loss for a company. Why? Because artifactory. Okay, artifactory to store all artifacts. Okay, here is store. So now what will happen if you lose this jar? What will happen if you lose this jar? So for example, I got this Mintra website or Amazon website jar. Okay, for example, someone hacked it. What they will do? Simply will create like amazon.clearancesale.in, and the same sale day someone it got missed it. Amazon is running it big bill and sale, and someone is running amazon-clearancesale.in. People will see the look and feel of the website, will feel that it is exactly same. It is exactly same as your Amazon, and people will order it. But what will happen? The person who hacked it, he will attach a different payment gateway for it, and all the transactions will happen to the fraud account, and you will get an acknowledgement, but you will never get a product. That is what happens when you lose this one, because this is your complete website information. Okay, complete website information. That's the reason you should never lose this jar. It should be secure. That means you require a proper security is required. Very first, security is required. Okay, okay, proper security, proper user management for tracking, user management for tracking. Why? Because same, for example, imagine that you don't have this JFrog is not there in your, okay, you're not using this JFrog, this tool does not exist. Imagine again you'll be using a traditional system as Windows. Do you have a tracking of the file? War file or your war or jar is also file, right? It is also a bundle. If someone deletes it, someone modifies it, you don't have a track. So tracking is required. Again, tracking plays an important role here. Tracking plays an important role. Second most important thing, download and upload speed. Download and upload speed. For example, if one jar file is 100, okay, for example, one jar file contains data of 10 GB. Imagine that you don't have JFrog, you're working in C drive, D drive kind of concept where you have Windows or Linux machines. In the D drive, your application is launched. In the D drive, your application is launched. Imagine that. And in the C drive, your all your data is stored, which is your jar file war files. Now, from the C drive to D drive, if I want to copy a 10 GB file, how much time it will take? C drive to D drive, I want to copy one 10 GB file. How much time it will take? You'll get a green buffer here in Windows saying that 59 minutes left, 40 minutes left. Put that same thing in your real time scenario. What if, let's suppose, we launched a sale day. On the sale day, we launched a sale page here. All the discounts are running. But what is happening? Some of the pages are not working. Some clicks on the pages are not working. There is an issue in the website. Okay, they have launched this one on the sale day, and there is some clicks are not working. That means there's a issue in the website. Some issue has happened in the application. Now you have to immediately roll back this one and give a fresh one. You have to immediately roll back, give a fresh one. Fresh website has to be launched. Now in that situation, if you use Windows machine where you have an issue in the website and your download is taking almost 1 hour, can you keep your website with the errors for a longer time? Can you keep the website which is not properly accessible and keep it for a longer time? You can't keep it. Okay, why? Because we don't know who is making a payment. We don't know who is ordering a product, which person is using which product. And if your website goes down, in that situation, you can't keep for a second. Also, website should never go down. In that situation, you require speed. Fraction of second, you should be able to download, upload the artifacts. Doesn't matter what is the size of that. So that is where we're using this JFrog, which has all the capabilities of this to make sure your softwares are provided on the spot with a proper format, with a proper storing, with a proper tracking. That is where we're using this. So now code is written, software is built, scanning is done, security is done, storage of the core, storage of the software is the storage of the artifacts of software is done, and the application is launched. I'm just saying application. Now no one will give you this kind of a URL. Will I give you for Mintra? Mintra will give you this HTTP, use this URL and IP address. No one will remember. I require a user friendly things. Now from where I'll get this one? That you'll get it from your Azure cloud. Azure cloud will create you this website. Okay, with the help of there are some services where you can launch a website. It's fine, they will see that website. Meanwhile, now developer got a relief from this, right? All the execution, everything, we are using this Maven tool and we are doing it now. Developer no need to build this and give it to us. Now we will build it. Developer will do this internal when he develops the code. That is a different thing. But now developer got a relief from this build tool. Okay, now we are managing it. Now we also want a relief, right? We also want automation. We can't go to 5 tools every time. So that is where your beauty of DevOps comes, where you use your Jenkins. Now you're more habituated to use your graphical user than command line. You feel more comfortable in graphical user. So there is where this Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. Okay, this is also called your continuous. You can do the deployments as well. Continuous deployments as well. We'll write it later. This has a proper build management. All the build activities you do it from here. All your user management can be done here. People tracking can be done here. Okay, all your automations you can achieve from here. You can do all level of automations from here. Automations can be done here. And most important thing is the graphical user, guys. Is very user friendly, very graphical user, because you are more comfortable with graphical user than command line. So now it's a graphical user. Now what I'll do, simply I'll take all my tools and one time I'll integrate with my Jenkins. Now I can manage all my GitHub activities from here. I can clone the code, I can push the code, I can fetch the code, I can do it. All my activities I can do it from here. Okay, until and unless I require specific operation, I have to go GitHub. Otherwise, maximum of my work is done from here. Maven also same. Integrate the software with Jenkins. Run all the commands from here. It will trigger, it will build, it will do all the operations. So now you don't need to sit in these two tools. Next tools. Let's go to the next tools. Now Sonar Cube is what? It's a scanning tool. So from where it will happen? It will happen in the code. So Jenkins will fetch the code from the GitHub, push it to the Sonar Cube, and Sonar Cube will give a good dashboard. It has also a graphical user. You can perform all the activity. You can get the results of Sonar Cube here only. You don't need to go to Sonar Cube there. Okay, everything is here. Then your JFrog. You can upload all the build packages from your Maven. All the things you can pick up from your Maven, put it in the JFrog. That is can be done from the JFrog. Again, last thing is your application. You can also deploy application from here. That's why I told it's a deployment tool as well. Contains integration, contains deployment. So you can deploy your application also here. The integration and deployment tool. Okay, it will do your deployment as well. Okay, both it will do it. CI/CD tool, deployment. So now, now you're got a flexibility. You can do all manage your work from here. Sit here and manage all the works. So that is a flexible you have. Now what else you require for your career? Now cloud, because where are these machines created? Inside your Azure, right? Cloud is required, but without infrastructure you can't create it, right? You require infrastructure for it. Okay, now you require your cloud. So come to your cloud. Let's assume Azure cloud is here. So in this cloud, now what do you require? Very first you require a virtual machines, because that machines are required. You require knowledge of virtual machines. Second thing, what do you require? You require your VNets, virtual networks. Set of IP address you require, a range of IP address. So virtual networks, we'll be learning virtual networks. Then you require your storage. We'll be learning your blobs. Okay, your blobs, your file shares, okay, etc. Things are there. We'll be learning it here. Fine. Storage, if you want to store small files, you can store files here. Then we'll be learning your disk management. How do you attach a disk? How do you do the management of the disk? We'll be learning a disk management. Disk management and your snapshots, everything will come here only. Then we'll be learning your Azure DNS zones. Azure DNS zones will be learning. So this DNS zones is the one which will take your application URL and give you a website name like amazon.com, Myntra.com. You can create your website name. It's as simple as when you buy a property, you register on your name, right? You have to register the website on your company name or your non-name. We can also create. You can also create your own website. You can launch a website. Okay. Only thing you have to pay some subscription charges to this guy. Okay. It's just a 70-80 rupees, not more than that. Right. And then now you have your load balancers. You have different load balancers here. So load balancers is there. Okay. So why is this load balancer? Because how this load will be coming, for example, n number of people are hitting your website. If for example your website is Myntra.com, lot of people are hitting. How one person request will be taken? That request is managed by load balancer. It will balance the load which is coming from the internet, okay, and give it to the application. Okay, and then you have your auto scale set. auto scale set. Okay, auto scale set is there. This auto scale set, okay, auto scale set will create your, okay, auto scale set will create your scale up and down the machines. That will create additional machines. For example, do you think Amazon is running in one machine? Amazon is running in million. Okay, it is running in thousands of machines. It can be a lakhs as well, because Netflix uses 1 lakh servers. Netflix uses 1 lakh servers for running the videos. Because now I am opening a video. For my video to execute, it requires one server to do the execution. Likewise, other person requires one, so they require. So that's the reason. Okay, you require your auto scale set. We don't know today 1 lakh people are logging in these websites. Tomorrow when there is a sale, millions of people can log in. We don't know how much is the scale. You can't count it. You can't count the scale. It's highly impossible. That's why this auto scaling will automatically increase the machines wherever there is a load, decrease the machines whenever there is no load. Okay, all the things can be achieved by your auto scaling, all the things. And then there are many more things in this. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Now your cloud is also there. You have a cloud knowledge, you have your DevOps knowledge. Is it enough for you to start your job? Yes, it is enough. Not only you, even for the company also, right? Code is there, software is there, security is there, storage is there, automation is there, and your cloud is there. It's enough for, right, for the company to start their business. They can start their business, they can launch their business. It's enough. These tools are enough. Okay, this is more than enough for a company. Why I'm saying this? Because DevOps has a flexibility. Now you learn Azure, you can go as an Azure engineer. If you learn these 5 tools, you can go as a DevOps. Or if you combine both, you can go as Azure with DevOps. You have a flexibility. That's why people are moving. People are moving because you have flexibility. It's not mandatory that every company will use each and every tool. We are learning everything. But one company says, I want Git, I want Jenkins, and I want Tomcat. Enough. I don't want this one because this is given by my client. Client is taking care of it. I will just do the deployments. For them, just it is enough. So come some company says, I will use 5 tools. You get to work 5 tools. So you get a chance to select your JD. Which JD you want to work, you can select. You say, I want to go with advanced tools. Go and work with advanced tools. You say, I want to work with basic tools. Go and work with advanced tools. Every company you go, these tools will be shuffling. Okay. So that is where that's the beauty, where you get a relief. You don't need to stress out with all these tools. You'll work with minimal tools. You'll explore it. Maybe one new company will get other tools. So that flexibility is there with this. Okay. Now basic tools are done. Company got it. Now why do we require advanced tools then? What is the need of advanced tools? Why people are running behind advanced tools? People say, right, we require your Ansible. People ask, we require Ansible. Why is this Ansible required? What's the importance of this? My company has fulfilled it, then why I require it? Now I just told Amazon will not run in single machines. Amazon will run in thousands of machines. Now, if this Amazon and Myntra is running thousands of machines, I want to deploy this I want to install this Tomcat, and I want to install this, deploy this war file into this 1,000 machines. Imagine how much time it will take. If one machine, one server, I have some 10 steps to perform. I have 10,000 servers. 10,000 servers I have. How much time it will take? Imagine. It's a frustrating job. If you do manual, you have to log into server, you have to execute this one, you have to install this one, you have to deploy this one, you have to verify. It's a frustrating job, right? So, and also it is time taking process. Second thing, human error. Human error is which will break the system. We may forgot, we may miss some steps. So all that things will happen, right? And again, if someone says after installing, remove this 10,000 servers, all these things you remove from 10,000 servers, it will take a longer time, right? Now how do you automate this one? There is very Ansible came into picture. This Ansible is your one of the automation tool, or the actual name or the purpose given for is configuration management tool. Majorly it came for the configuration. Why? Because for example, if I have one file which contains 1,000 lines, I have to edit 50 lines. Imagine one file, 1,000 lines are there, 50 lines you edit it. That is one server is fine. If I say edit this in 10,000 servers, it's a tedious task. People will make a lot of mistakes here. To overcome this challenge, We brought Ansible, which will do the installations, which will do your uninstallations, which will do your upgrades, which will do your rollbacks, and which will also edit your complex configuration changes. That is where your Ansible came into picture. Now it will do in single shot. Just it is very easy to write. You don't need to write any logic here. Simply Ansible will give you a skeleton. Use that skeleton, use the structure of that, and write it. Okay. Ansible will give you the skeleton. You don't need to implement any code here. You don't implement any logic here. It is given by Ansible. You just trigger it. It will connect thousands of machines. It will hit that same command in 1,000 machines. Again, what you do? Simply you don't want a command line, go and integrate this with Jenkins. Just click one button in Jenkins. Jenkins will go and connect Ansible, and what are the machines are connected to Ansible, that will go and deploy in thousands of machines. Now again, your work is simplified. You can sit in single tool and manage your work. And then second tool. Now Ansible is done. Why people want Docker Kubernetes? Already I'm using so many machines and everything, right? Why this Docker Kubernetes came into picture? Reason is that cost optimization. Anywhere cost is important, guys. Okay, companies cannot bear the cost of infrastructure every time. So basic reason for this is to reduce cost. Very first, cost, reducing the cost. Reducing, to reduce the infrastructure cost. Entire infrastructure cost is the main reason. If one server, take an example of your simple, right? One laptop, how much is cost? It will go from 20k to some 3 to 4 lakhs. It will go to 3 to 4 lakhs of amount. This is just a laptop I'm saying. Personal use. What about the real-time servers? When you use the servers, right? When you order the servers, these servers are very costly, guys, because the capacity of the servers are very high. Capacity of the servers are very high. Okay, this servers looks like this. See, this is how the server looks. This capacity in the real world is very high. Okay, 1000 core CPU, 1000 GB RAM. All these servers are very costly. Now imagine that if 1 lakh servers or 10,000 servers are required, this cost will go in crores. One server will be 10 lakhs, 8 lakhs, depends upon the configuration. Company cannot afford it. There is where they brought a concept of containerization. Containerization, where you have the concept of containers and images. So containers is like your kind of a machine. It will act as a machine, and it will act as a software, your OS software. These two will form your containerization concept, where you have all this concept of to reduce the infrastructure cost. Just in single machine, this Docker Kubernetes tech, has a mechanism to deploy 1,000 applications. Now, if you want to install this war file in 1,000 machines, you require explicitly physical machines. Here, you require single machines, and you can launch that containers, and one container will act as one virtual machine, and that will deploy it. And second most important thing, for example, today Amazon or Mintra requires, okay, Amazon and Mintra, anything is fine. So Amazon Mintra says, today I'm using 10,000 machines, right? Can you add me more 10,000 machines? How much time it will take to add 10,000 machines in your data center? You have to order the products, you have to get it, and that is costly again. You have to get it, you have to install the application. Okay, forgot about the infrastructure. At least to install this everything in 10,000 machines, setup money will take a longer time. But here, just increase the CPU and RAM. You can create, okay, in seconds. You can create containers in seconds. You can launch in seconds. It will go and create your 1,000 containers. That's the beauty of this. You can create and launch anytime. Okay, and second thing, this is where is maintaining in the DevOps. Zero downtime. You upgrade the application, you delete the application, you do anything. Zero downtime for application. That's why I told you, right? All your websites are 24/7 up because of this Docker Kubernetes. You search an example in Google, application using Docker and Kubernetes. First, you'll get all your Netflix, Mintra, your Disney Hotstar. Everyone is using this Docker Kubernetes concept. Why? Because infrastructure cost is reducing. Second thing is reliability. Okay, the more reliable it is, okay, the more accessibility is providing, and it is very fast compared to anything. It's very fast. That's why this Docker Kubernetes, where your upgrade downgrades are very fast. Okay, so this is one of the important tool which is running in the market. Okay, and it is cost effective. It is very cost effective where you don't need to put thousands of machines. If you have thousands of machines, put here some 100 machines, that is more than enough. Okay, which will reduce the cost. Again, you integrate it to the Jenkins. Click one button here, Jenkins will connect to Docker documents and you do the deployments. Okay, that is where your Docker. And then the last one is your Terraform. This is getting trending in the market. Why? Because automation, infrastructure automation. Okay, for example, if I say go and create 100 machines of different configuration, I said 10 machines of 1 core CPU, 2 GB RAM, 20 machines of 2 core and 4 GB RAM, rest everything should be some 8 core 16 GB RAM. Now even if you're clicking a button, still it takes time. You have to select the options, you have to run it. But here this Terraform, what it does, it will provide you infrastructure automation. How? With the help of Terraform scripts. So again, Terraform will give us will give you one skeleton. You don't need to write anything. Everything is there in the official website. Only you have to follow the syntax of that. They will give you a syntax. You follow the syntax, and you have to use that one. Okay. You don't explicitly put your knowledge here. Terraform doesn't allow you to use any of your logics. Whatever is there, you have to use it. Fraction of second will create your fraction of second. You will go and create your machines, not only machines, everything in the Azure you can create it. Fine. And then again, if you feel I don't want command line, just put it here and integrate to Jenkins. Jenkins will do. That means one of the powerful tool. Any company will have this tool. Powerful tool. Any company will have this tool, which will do your all your build and deployments. Okay. And in this again, this is just what I've shown you is overview. In this again, there are different deployments. Some company says I don't use Ansible, I use only Tomcat for deployments. Some companies say I use only Docker Kubernetes. So based on that, your projects differs. Based on that. Now, this I showed you only Kubernetes deployment. This is purely. So this is called your okay. This is called your hybrid based deployment. This is called your hybrid based. Okay, hybrid based deployment. Why? Because you using your machine plus you're using your machines plus your containers. So both. This is called hybrid based deployment. We are your build and deployment we are Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, hybrid based, both they're using. Some company says I only use your Ansible, I don't use Docker Kubernetes, I use only machines. So again you define it. Okay, there are again the different process for doing that one. So you divide this work into three to four different categories, we define it. Okay, 3 to 4 different categories, we define this one. Where I kept it, I don't remember. The project one. Mhm. Yeah, it is. So this is one structure. You say I only go with your Ansible. So there is no Docker documents. I'm going with purely VM based. I'm going and deployment your Ansible machines. So n number of Ansible machine deploy. Or if you say I deploy only on Tomcat. So depends upon that. This flow will break into small parts again. It's not a complete flow. Everyone use it. Again, they divide it. Some go with Ansible, some go with Docker. Terraform is for infrastructure automation. Right? So this is how your end-to-end flow looks. End-to-end flow looks. So your work starts into these three. Somewhere you have Kubernetes deployment. Somewhere you have to do the build activities only. Okay. Some says only do the build activities. Some say you do the Ansible deployment. So your work is divided. So every company will not use all the tools. Some company use few. Some company use all the tools. Some company use only advanced tools. So it depends upon the company to company. So you have a flexibility to choose your work. You get a flexibility to select your work where you want to work. You want to work at advanced level, you want to work at the basic level, or you want to work at the cloud level. It's all your choice where you can use it. Fine. Clear? Any clarity, guys? Any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? Any clarity? This is how your flow looks. This is how the flow they have defined it, right? This is each and every tool usage and flow. Okay, and this you draw this kind of architectures where you implement this pipelines, you implement this pipelines, implement this complete pipelines where you use it. Maybe I don't have the screenshots, I believe. Screenshots, I have it or not, I don't. Documents. Mm, so this is how your project. See, Tomcat project, this is how the project looks. You run this complete pipeline. This is the automation. First, I'll be teaching you manual way of working, and then you achieve the automation. Because tomorrow, what if your automation doesn't work? How do you still deliver it manually? That also you have to learn it. It's not just automation. Automation plus manual work. Okay, how do you do this pipeline? How this is how it runs. Single click, one click deployment. We say just click it, everything should clone the code, run the build, you everything it, right? So same way you have Ansible project. How do you deploy it in the Ansible machines, multiple nodes? How do you deploy it? So this is how your pipeline looks. Okay, then your Docker Kubernetes. How do you build it with the Docker Kubernetes? How do you build an image? How do you push image? How do you store it? All that things you can achieve it with your projects. Okay, that is how you build your work. Even the build will your build will be similar in your company as well. There's no change in your company as well. What you going to learn here, same thing is there in the company. Whatever you're going to see here, each and everything is same in your company. That is where it's it's easy to debug, easy to learn, and easy to implement when you start working on it. Right? Any questions, any doubts, guys? Any queries? Any questions, any queries, any doubts? No questions? All clear or not clear?
It was good. Thank you so much.
Okay, fine. So let's move on. So the last part. Okay. So very first, guys, anything, any course you learn, right? First, gain the skills. Okay. Gain your skills entirely. Okay. Have a proper roadmap. So roadmap should be first learn the basics. Don't go for advanced tools. Someone says just learn the F4 tools and you'll get a job. Don't do it. Because what happens when you start implementing it, basics plays an important role. Why I'm saying, because this basics is available because your DevOps tools is built in the operating system. Based on the operating system commands only, you install it, you configure it, you integrate it. And then you have Azure also. Same, Azure also is part of a Linux only also. Because wherever you're going to work, you're going to work on the operating system. You have to install a software, install in the operating system. You have to run some commands in the operating system. This is the base. This is the base pillar. If this is built, don't require programming. That is for developers. Linux fundamentals, if you learn it properly, your complete journey of DevOps in Azure goes very smooth. Any cloud, any DevOps, because this is the pillar. This is a pillar for your career, pillar for a career. Okay, because anywhere, even if it's a developer, he has to log into Linux machine only. He has to log into machine. So start with Linux, go with cloud or go with DevOps. Fine, anything is fine. Start first Linux, go with cloud or your DevOps, or start with DevOps and then cloud. Fine. Okay, and then salaries, you already know it, you can search it. You can start your certifications, but I recommend don't do the certification from your pocket. If you are in a company will sponsor for certifications. Okay, sponsor certification, they'll give you vouchers. Certification is done only when you go for a next position, not for the interview. If you're saying that I'm switching on job, I'll do a certification, that is, I don't recommend. Why? Because no one will judge you based on certifications. It's just a criteria. You have a good certification but you're not speaking in the interview, what is the use of that? So no one can be judged based on certification. Today certification can be, you can buy also, someone will sell it also, because market is like that, people will sell it because no one trusts today. Okay, that's why don't go with certification. Do the certification. If you want to apply position in your career in the same company, apply it. Okay, certification, you do it at that, it will help you. Fine. Then Azure, if you want to do it, there are two levels. Azure developer has its own certification and DevOps has its own. So Azure admission, this is the first level, level 1. This is question and answers. Okay, somewhere it was some 5,000 change plus GST. Now it is increased little bit. So this is question and answers, all the question and answer kind of a thing. This is practical. Azure DevOps is a practical. Fine. So these are two things. Okay, two different things. Here all your tools will come, DevOps tools, everything will come into picture. So if you want to do it, but do it only when your company pays. Don't do it. Okay, don't do it if from your pocket. It's my personal recommendation, because there are people from IIT IIM, they have 5 to 6 certification, but when you ask basics, you don't know the basics. How you'll hire him? Then what you have done in the certification, if you want to really interested, work for 1 year, then go for certification, it will make sense. After 1 year you apply in the same position, say I have achieved a certification, I am professional now, give me a next level of that, makes a difference. But not for a job. Fine. It doesn't make any difference. Fine. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? Any queries so far? Okay. So there are various cloud services. If you see, these are all the different cloud services: compute, storage, networking. We're going to cover all the combinations of this. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let's stop it here. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? I want to drag it. At least 1%, guys. Okay. At least 1% you got where your DevOps engineer is used. So start the journey, guys. Journey is important, not the technology. Technology, you learn it. You are capable of learning it. You learn it. There's no coding. There's no difficulty. It's a pure tool, commands and tool. That's it. It's a pure commands and tool, and everything is available in the internet. Okay, but learning in a proper structure is required. How to start from the basic, how to fetch the basics, how to go to intermediate, how to go to advanced level. This course we have defined for 12 years experience, 12 plus years of experience people. Even the fresher will teach the same content, even the experience will teach the content. It's not for a fresher one. It is 12 plus years of content we have kept it. That's why the course will take minimum 2.5 months. It is not, I will not say 45 days. It never happens. It is 2.5 months of course, okay, where you start with the basics and reach till the advanced level. Any questions, any doubts, any queries? Open to it. I hope at least 1% you gained out of it. That is what I'm expecting. Any questions? Yes, this course is solely enough to get a DevOps engineer jobs. Certification also you can do it, but certification what happens? uh, Certification they will ask you some additional questions like some different questions like what is the trend of Azure, okay, how much percentage of companies are using it. So how outside knowledge. So when you register the certification, they'll give you some dumps, they'll give you some links. You have to prepare that links. Certification and the real time is completely different, guys. There's little bit of knowledge shared in certification, but this is little bit different. When you write certification, they will ask you little bit out of box questions as well. That is where they give some additional links to you to learn it. Okay, awareness kind of a things also there in that. So my course will cover minimum 75% of your certification. 25% you have to read your frequently asked questions. Okay, frequently asked question that you have to read it to make your certifications. But I recommend if you're in the same company, only do the certification. Don't do the certification if you're cracking for the interview, because certification has a validity. After 2 years it gets expired. Again a new content will come. People will give you new content. They say again you write it if you want to increase the validity. So don't go for it. I don't encourage it. I don't recommend it. Any more questions? Any more doubts? So if still you want the recording and everything, you can call to this number. They will share the recording in the WhatsApp and the diagram in your WhatsApp. And if you have anything related to the course timings, your fees, etc., things, reach out to these numbers. Reach out to these numbers. Okay, fine. Any more info you want from me? Any more doubts and clarity?
No, that was a great demo. Sorry, I don't
Great.
remember your name. Thank you for that.
My name is Sagar. My name is Sagar.
Oh, thanks, Sagar. That was great demo.
Hmm. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Right. Hope you see you on this journey soon. Okay. Thanks for joining. If you still want any clarity, any clarification, you want to talk to me personally, you can reach out to Institute. They will arrange a conference call, and you can ask if you want. If you're hesitating with something, you can speak out here. Okay. No issues. You can reach out to these people. They will arrange a conference. Okay. They will. Otherwise, they will open a link. You can connect to that link. Fine. Okay then. I hope
Yeah, sure.
I
Thank you
answered
so much.
most of the questions. Still, if you have,
Mhm.
you can reach out to them. They will forward to me. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sagar.
Thank you.
என்ன சொல்றான் அவன்?